We haven't decided who we're fighting next. We'll talk to AJ and His Excellency. The fight will be announced on the 26th of June. If the fight with Dubois is for a world title, that's likely to be the fight. If not, then it will probably be someone else. Could be Zhang, could be Parker. No decisions made yet.
What was AJ?
You have held a high position with the IBF for a long, long time, and the belt still, as far as we're aware, isn't on the line on Saturday night.
What do you mean isn't?
Well, it's not for the vacant belt, right?
It should be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Are you disappointed, given how long that you've been mandatory challenger? And
It should be for a belt, man. What are you talking about?
that's what I'm saying. Are you disappointed it's not?
It is.
It is now.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, that was planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
So what changed now?
This week they're saying that it may not be the case.
Who said?
That seems to be the talk.
You?
No, it seems to be the talk online.
I don't know, man. I expect to be for the title. That's what I...
You know, I would have loved to win it on the night of my last fight, but, you know, here we are. You know, I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and, you know, we keep going.
We haven't decided who we're fighting next. We'll talk to AJ and His Excellency. The fight will be announced on the 26th of June. If the fight with Dubois is for a world title, that's likely to be the fight. If not, then it will probably be someone else. Could be Zhang, could be Parker. No decisions made yet.
What was AJ?
Phenomenal opportunity, but yeah, as I said, I went out there to watch the fight. Good fight between the two of them, Hrgovic and Dubois. I picked Dubois to win as well.
Yep.
I watched boxing closely, and I picked him before, and it came true, and we're here. So I've been having Dubois on my mind for a while, and he'll be on my mind for the next 12 weeks until I get my hand raised.
You say you've had him on your mind for a while. I mean, you've always been linked with Deontay Wilder and potentially a Joseph Parker rematch. Tyson Fury's name has been mentioned for the past decade.
Yeah.
Not much Daniel Dubois. So you've had to almost, I guess, realign your mind quite quickly, right, recently, because he's not really been thought of as your opponent.
No, not like the way they mention like Fury or they mention Wilder. Not in that same breath, but I'm not silly either.
We haven't decided who we're fighting next. We'll talk to AJ and His Excellency. The fight will be announced on the 26th of June. If the fight with Dubois is for a world title, that's likely to be the fight. If not, then it will probably be someone else. Could be Zhang, could be Parker. No decisions made yet.
Lovely. Hello folks, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. This is going to cause a little bit of controversy because we're going to say it as it is. No holding back. Straight to the jugular. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. The battle for Britain orchestrated chaos. So ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself for what's been touted as the Battle of Britain. 12-round showdown between Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois for the IBF heavyweight title on September 21st. But let's pull back the curtain on this spectacle and see what might really be happening behind the scenes. This isn't a title earned in the ring by defeating the reigning champion Alexander Usyk. Now, the IBF title has been handed over to Dubois like a gift, wrapped in a controversy and sealed with a questionable legitimacy. And who better to legitimize this handover than by pitting Dubois against the golden boy of British boxing, Anthony Joshua. Imagine being a fly on the wall in Saudi Arabian office where Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, IBF officials, and the men who has pockets that are deeper than the oil wells in Sahara Desert, Turkey al-Sheikh, are huddled together, crafting the master plan. A plan so devious, it seems Joshua's path to a world title shot has been carefully paved, well before any of us even knew this fight was on the cards. Was Joshua ever really interested in fighting Dubois? Probably not. This scheme seems to have been in motion long before the fight was announced, maybe even before Dubois was lined up to face Filip Hrgovic. Now ask this question to yourself, why did Dubois fight Hrgovic instead of Joshua? Originally Joshua was supposed to take on Hrgovic, a bet that could have paid his way to an IBF title with Usyk or Tyson Fury, once they had settled their business in the ring. But that fight never happened, leaving Hrgovic in limbo. waiting over a year for a shot at Usyk, and still that opportunity never came. Meanwhile, Joshua chose an easy target, a fight that can hardly be called a challenge. He faced a non-boxer, someone who had never stepped into the ring under boxing rules, who didn't know how to throw a proper jab or move with the footwork of a trained fighter. The result? A second round knockout that left fans in a frenzy, singing Joshua's praises. But was that victory really something to celebrate? Joshua disposed of this so-called opponent easily, becoming a national hero once again, and getting his fanboy hyped up, calling him a great boxer. After all that planning, now the real task begins. I have to push Joshua towards a world title without risking too much, and not to upset Joshua, as Joshua isn't interested in anything less than a title shot. And after beating this non-boxer, it seems like he's earned it, or so the narrative goes. So what's the next step? Enter Hergovic. Hergovic, who's been waiting an eternity for a title shot, has to be dealt with. But with Usyk tied up in negotiations with Fury, in an uncertain future, will Fury fight Usyk again if he wins, or could Fury retire? So Hergovic seems like a dangerous risk for Joshua, especially after that shocking defeat to Andy Ruiz. The last thing Joshua's camp wants is another upset. So what do? They hand the Hergovic fight to Dubois instead. They don't want the risk, especially after Hergovic beat Zhilei Zhang. But here is where it gets murky. The night Dubois stepped into the ring with Hergovic, something was off. Hergovic, the same fighter who looked unstoppable against Zhilei Zhang, suddenly seemed rusty, lacking energy, missing punches, and running out of gas after just few rounds. This wasn't the same Hergovic we've seen before. And Dubois, he takes the win easily and positions himself as the next in line for the IBF title. And then, shock of all shocks, the IBF strips Usyk of his belt, handing it to Dubois. But it doesn't end there. To add insult to injury, they claim Usyk gave the belt to Dubois as a gift. Really? Come on, really? Who in their right mind, who fought 12 rounds in a hard fight, will hand over the title after winning it? It's as if they had the belt all along, waiting for the right moment to unveil the scheme. The belt was already in Saudi Arabia, weeks before the press conference that announced Dubois versus Joshua. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. Suddenly, on the night of the press conference, it was announced and the belt was produced. Here is the giveaway. Frank Warren hinted few days before the press conference there was going to be a very special surprise. Remember? Now, if this was an insult to intelligence, I don't know what it was. All along, Joshua will not entertain fighting anyone unless a title was on the line, and he will wait for a Usyk or Fury. But guess what? A belt suddenly appeared to please Joshua. Talk about fight fixing. This entire setup seems designed for Joshua to win, setting up a mega fight with Usyk or Fury next year. Sure, the boys and Joshua fans might say I'm talking rubbish, but let's face the facts. Joshua is primed to knock the boys out. It's all part of the plan. And by the way, has anyone heard where Hergovic is now? Maybe he got so much money to step aside, he don't need to fight no more. I'm sure I will get the same reaction as the video I did about Naoya Inoue cherry pick fight with TJ Doheny. About Naoya's cherry picking. How can it not be cherry picked when Naoya is 1 to 50 and TJ Doheny is almost 20 to 1? And without checking each fighter's history and breaking down each fighter's strengths and weaknesses, some people can't see a fixed fight and they think it's going to be a competitive fight. Some fanboys can't accept the reality. If Joshua doesn't win, I'll gladly eat my words and never speak of Joshua or Dubois in this channel again. But mark my words, Joshua will beat Dubois and beat him comfortably. Not because of what I said, because Joshua is much better fighter or boxer than Dubois. Antonio Joshua has better boxing intelligence, better jabs, better combinations, better footwork, better upper body and shoulder movements. His punches are more crispier, sharper and faster. Dubois will not match Joshua's reflexes and hand speed, let alone his powerful jabs, and when Joshua sets him up with a trap, I think it will be good night and sweet dreams for Daniel Dubois. Both can take a good punch, but I bet Joshua can take a good punch, better than Dubois, if that makes sense. I'll be back soon with a detailed analysis and prediction on how Joshua will dismantle Dubois and move to face the real challenges, Usyk or Fury. Remember, this isn't personal. It's just my analysis, my theory. Let's see how it plays out. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.